There are so many axle options for JKX. Really don't know which way to turn, but I've decided the way to go is with used axles. We're gonna build our own. Now, some people say that's not worth doing anymore. The price of used axles are going up while the cost of brand new manufactured axles is coming down, and it's just not worth it anymore. Well, I'll tell you what, so far this morning I'm working for 500 bucks an hour. So let me unload these axles and I'll explain. But I gotta admit, old guy tired. Well, I know one thing, my extension for my engine crane, the one I use for the tents, came in handy, but oh no, way too heavy for these. It got it done, but barely. These axles are heavy. So first things first, they need to go on a diet. Now, there is no way I'm working on these on the floor. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna build a work stand. At least one, so I can work on the axles one at a time. So first thing I gotta do is go buy some heavy duty casters. I got lots of leftover material to build this with. And then it hit me. I have a heavy duty engine stand that I built with my uncle 25 years ago, been using it ever since. Why don't I make a 2-in-1 tool? Modify it so that I can slip on an adapter and I have an axle. So today, that's job number one. So I said earlier that I was working for 500 bucks an hour. Well, I spent about 5 hours, 4.5, 5 hours at the scrapyard pulling these out, and holy hard day's work. I've been insanely inactive in the past year or so because of my health, and I'm paying the price now. I got some endurance to build back up and some strength to build back up, I'll tell you that. So I mentioned earlier that I'm working for 500 bucks an hour here. So how do I figure that? Well, I had a quick look around at local auto recyclers and I found one Ford 9-inch. They wanted 1,600 bucks for it. A Chevy rear axle for, I think it was 1,200. I saw one on eBay for 1,400 bucks. I saw one for as little as 500 bucks for a bare axle. I'm not sure what they meant by that, but I'm pretty sure the knuckles and the inner axles might have been missing for that. But I think pretty fair to say that 1,500 bucks is what these are going for around here. So I need a front and back, so that's $3,000 worth of axles. They were 200 bucks a piece. So with taxes and core charges and all that, $503 exactly for both axles. So I'm saving myself 2,500 bucks. 5 hours pulling them out, and that's from leaving the house to coming back. My time to get these axles home, if you will. Hey, remember, a penny saved is a penny earned. So the way I see it, that's 500 bucks per hour that I don't have to earn anywhere, or 2,500 bucks and I could take a week off to cover that and still have time to spare. So that money can be used somewhere else. All of a sudden that 2,500 bucks, the expensive tires that are going on here, well, they're kind of covered. That's always the way I've always looked at this. But of course, the time and expense isn't done here. There is a ton of work for cleaning up these axles. There's still lockers and gear sets and bearings. There's still quite a bit of expense here. And that's the argument, that it's not really worth it. Well, it depends how you look at it. To get some like high-end axles, I've seen some 12,000, 13,000 range. Not what we need here, but for what I'm looking for, they're at least 8,000 a piece. So that's $16,000 worth of axles. Doing some rough estimating, locker for like 1,500 bucks ish, gear sets for let's say 350 each, some bearings, some parts that are going to need to be replaced. Like I noticed the manual locking hub is broken on this side, incidentals. I did a rough calculation. I'm looking at about 2,600 bucks each. So that's a fraction of the cost, and that money can be used somewhere else. So that's my plan. That's what I'm working with. People may disagree with me here, but before the internet goes with the comments, yeah, I agree. I've spent a lifetime building this skill set. I have tools, like many people do, and it's possible. But for many people, it's a lot more difficult. You have to pick up the skill set, buy the tools, buy the equipment. I get it. The build your own and the buy axles outright, the margins become closer and closer. I understand that, but this is the path that I'm taking. If nothing else, I just love doing this stuff myself. There's a certain satisfaction in building it yourself, right? So I've been working on this axle for about 2 days now and filming everything I'm doing. And then I realize as I'm looking at footage, I got picture, I got no sound. Somewhere along the way, my fat finger or thumb hit the rotary switch when I was pressing record, and it put it into an S&Q mode. I had no idea what the hell that was. So once again, proving I'm nowhere near as smart as I think I am. But that's okay, just another opportunity for me to outdo my smarts with my problem-solving skills. So we figured it out. S&Q is a slow and quick mode. Slow and quick mode? But it records at a much slower frame rate, if you will. It's for doing, why do you want to know about that? Moving on. So, picked up a couple of axles. I got this Ford 1-ton Super Duty axle out of an 06 Super Duty, and I got a rear axle out of a 08 Chevy 3/4 ton. So these are the axles I'm looking for. So, of course, whole bunch of brackets to cut off, and luckily, well, Jean made me a gift again. She bought me a plasma cutter. So I got to try that thing for the first time, and I tell you, that was the right tool for the job. So I'm not going to go into detail on how to prep these axles for a build. There is many excellent videos on YouTube. Quick search comes up with several, and that's what I'm using for as a guide as well. But I tell you, most are doing it with a grinder, with a grinding stone, cut off disc, sawzall, and they tell you, be prepared to spend a lot of time. And I have quite a few hours into these already, but I did it with a plasma torch. So I slowly hacked away at all the brackets, almost gouging the brackets off, if you will, and made short work of it. But now, I'm gonna have some work to do with the grindstone to get them all cleaned up. So as I'm getting ready to order the parts that I need, it will be an air locker, it looks like. I want to re-gear it. I got to do those calculations. I had to replace the locking hubs. They were damaged. Rebearing, U-joints, ball joints, the works. I got to figure out a steering. I was looking at differential covers as well. So of course, the term they use is bomb-proof, eh? I want something good and thick so that we smack a rock, we don't cause any damage. So I've seen a couple people on YouTube that are building their own. I'd like to try that. So I'll show you how we did that as well. So first things first is I want to make myself a template, mark out all the bolt holes and the perimeter around it. And that'll be the ring that I can build off of. I have some 3/8 steel that I want to use for that. All the ones that I see online are 3/8 steel for the ring, and the cover itself is out a 1/4 inch plate. So I think that's what we're gonna do. There we go, cut that out. So the plan is to cut outside the line, make it a little bit bigger than I need, and then I'll shave it down and get precision out of it. I was never very good at coloring inside the lines, so let's cheat a little bit.
even though I've marked the bolt holes, I think I'm going to use the cover as a template to drill it more accurately. I think that'll work out. There we go. We can drill that. So I think I'm going to work with 6-inch flat bar, and I can either have one continuous piece this way or this way. I think if I go this way, I can make it narrower, but you know what? I don't mind having some oil volume. So I think I'm going to go this way, and to get 6 inches, where did I put my tape measure? And to get 6 inches, and the center of the ring gear is down a little bit, I think I'm going to start with a line between the bolt holes, and that'll be our starting point. And go 6 inches down from there, and that should form the opening for my ring. So I'm going to center my ring gears about 3.5 inches from the bolt hole. There we go. I know it looks kind of messy. I did tighten it up because I didn't like how close it was to the bolt holes. When I put my side plate in the corner here, the weld's going to be really close to the bolt hole, so I didn't like that. Moved it over a little bit, but I think that should be my ring for my cover. So I think the easy way I'm going to cut it is with a zip disc. Makes a nice clean cut. Might make a little smoke, but should be all right. There we go. There's the foundation for my diff cover. All we gotta do is plate that in, and we're good to go. But I will trim it a little tighter. I wanna put the bolts in, mark it from the back, trim it up nice and tight, and then I'll be ready to cut my base plate out of 3/8 steel. I like this. Template is ready for later, because I don't have material for that just yet. So I might have all the brackets hacked off with the plasma torch, which went very, very well, but it leaves a pretty rough finish. So I got some cleaning up to do, and I'll spare you those details. You don't need to watch me doing that for hours and hours here. But as soon as I get it cleaned up, we'll put it back on the scales and weigh it. So I'm real curious to see how much weight we shaved off with all those brackets. So that Ford axle weighed 603 pounds when I started. I wrote it on my board on the wall here, and it now weighs 488 pounds. So I have lost 115 pounds worth of brackets off that axle. That's a lot of weight. Now, of course, it's not done. I gotta weld new brackets and fabricate new brackets for this axle. I gotta build it up. There's gonna be more weight coming on there. But it'd be real interesting to note the difference in weight from the stock Jeep axle. So, now for the Chevy axle. It was 405 pounds when I started, and I'm down to 389 pounds. So basically I cut off about 15 pounds worth of brackets off of it, not much. Probably end up putting more weight on than I took off. So this 10.5 inch or 14 bolt Chevy rear axle is prepped. I got the tubes all stripped down, she's ready to build. Now there is a modification that you can do that, well, I didn't. We can increase the ground clearance by quite a bit by doing a simple modification. This 14 bolt cover, well, there is a 13 bolt conversion cover available, if you will. So it basically eliminates the bottom bolt and by shaving the bottom, and you get quite a bit more. Now, there's limits to everything, right? I'm not building a rock crawler here. I'm building a very capable Overland rig. Yeah, I know, the argument can easily be made that this is overkill for an Overland build, these 1-ton axles, and it is. But that's okay, that's what we're building. But what I did do is I did shave off 1 inch off the bottom. All I need to do is modify the cover ever so slightly. I'm building covers anyway, and now I gained that much ground clearance. If nothing else, this is an edge that won't catch rocks and whatever when we're off-roading. So, well worth doing. And I should say is maybe, okay, half a pound, maybe. So the plan was to fully build these two axles, the front Ford and the rear Chevy axle, 1-ton axles for the Jeep. But you know what, I'm changing my mind. I don't have the parts ordered yet, so there's a bit of a delay there. For building the cover, I need to pick up some steel and the brackets as well. I have some, but I don't have everything that I need. So I think I'm shifting gears. What I do have is the suspension kit that I ordered quite a while ago. And since I have no space for anything in here, it's been in the wife's basement for quite a while now, and it's high time I get that out of there. So I think that's going to be next. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to fabricate the mounts, mount the suspension kit, then pull the axles back out and do the build. And we'll do a video on that as well. I did start on my covers. I have the templates made, hanging on the wall. And when I have the steel for that, I'll do all that at the same time. Now, I did promise myself that I wouldn't use that suspension kit again. I had some issues with jeans, but I ended up buying the same one. And truth be told, it doesn't even fit JKX. So we got some figuring to do. But that'll be for the next episode. That'll be the suspension build.